day, and we don't want to lose the sun. I'm sure it'll be raining in 5 minutes. Now, I think a lot of people are feeling very strongly, as both of you are, that this is, and I'll get you to stand a little bit closer so we're both in.
Hang on, Jill, will you just keep an eye on Devon there so he doesn't run off on us? Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So just to say, the inspiration is obviously very, very kind of strong, because people would feel the same way. How did this come together, the march, on the protest on Sunday? Did you, I don't know who got the idea?
I have to say, I mean, we have to thank Orla for that. She's the one who really has kicked this off, and she has been very active on social media about it. So you take it from here.
So I suppose I was reading all the stories and hearing about Vicky Phelan and all the other women involved, and was feeling a little bit frustrated that people marched over water but not over something that's a life or death situation. So I was getting more upset. I have 2 young kids, and the thought of having to give that news to your partner and your kids, it's just hell, and these women are living it. So I put up a post, and there was a lot of reaction to it on Greystones Open Forum. So a lot of people were saying let's meet up. So we had a meeting on the hotspot on Sunday, and there was 6 or 7 of us, and we just said, look, there is a nationwide, I think, movement happening, and they're going to do things later on in the month. But we said, while people are still upset, we need to work with that and harness the energy, I suppose, and let the government know we're really upset, and that I know the CervicalCheck have a protest at noon outside the Dáil on Saturday. This is in Greystones Sunday. You felt, because naturally Simon Harris is from here, it's kind of important to sort of make that statement, that is important, that it is, as you said, I think in the Irish Times, that this is in his backyard, really, that this is how we feel. This is and I think the message is, Greystones is a family place, and it's affecting everybody. So we said, instead of trying to get people to go into town or whatever, it's ordinary people, ordinary families marching in their local town to it happens to be where the minister is, and I think that's no harm. And put the pressure on the government and let them know that this is across the country. There's groups of people meeting up the same way, and
that's the hope, that we can get small groups all across the country to form into one huge demonstration.
Well, I was
in the future.
I think with Vicky Phelan, here's a tragic case. 2011, she has her smear test. 2016, her doctor is told that it's actually, the result is not good, and it takes another year before he tells Vicky Phelan. Now, she's been told in January she has 6 months or a year to live. I know she had a court case, 2.5 million. It's just, but that there's so much incompetence all the way down the line that's frightening. I can't quite understand, even how the doctor at that point wouldn't have immediately said, this is life-changing, literally life-changing news. I don't know whether you guys feel that there's a certain kind of section that are could be pinpointed and say, well, this is really where the fault lies, or it's just incompetence all the way down the chain, or it just shocks me.
It's that's a real shock. I think it's incompetence, but I also think it's covering up.
Right.
And I think it's cheapening women's health, and it is the outsourcing. I definitely think is a result of the commodification of women's health. It's really unfortunate that they did that.
And I think as well, just to add to that, screening programs by their nature will not pick up all cases. That's the way the science works. That's fine. But you need to, when you're picking a screening lab, you need to make sure you pick a lab that has a high level of catching these errors. So you need to have a high level of quality control, and we do have that in Ireland. But the labs in America aren't working to the same level of quality, if you like. So it means that these people's slides got through, whereas if it had been in a lab that works to a higher standard, they may not have gotten missed the first, So it's the fact that there's so many things we need to improve. We need accountability for what's gone on. Somebody decided not to tell these people. Somebody chose a lab that just wasn't good enough for screening, and it's resulted in people dying now in their 30s and leaving children behind. And we also need then to make sure we improve things for the future, because you don't want this story to repeat itself in 10, 15 years time, because we haven't actually learned from these mistakes, So I think from everyone I talk to is extremely upset about this. I'm in my 30s, and I think there's not a lot, you're so focused on your family, and you don't have an awful lot of time, but I think it's just really hit a chord, with, partners. They could be left, I could be telling my husband tomorrow it was me, or, your grandparents thinking, how would we raise these children with no mother,
It's beyond thinking that just knowing that it's a possibility you don't know, and it's been hidden from you, and you could have done something about it.
And it's the women that don't know yet that are wondering, are we one of the missed
And it's said to be about roughly 3,000. I don't know if the number will just keep growing, that they can't really, they don't know exactly how much they've goofed up basically, and how
I
much
think
they've...
it'll keep unfolding, I think.
Right.
I think it's a kind of pretty fluid...
Would you have a feeling, Pyper, that Simon should do something in the immediate, you know, obviously he's, I would hope, you know, and I think he is very, very kind of, you know, concerned that he would like this to be never happen again, and also try to sort out what is a mess. I don't know if there's certain things he thinks he should be doing right now.
I mean, I feel more honesty and decency is needed. I feel there's been a lot of incompetence and a lot of sophisticated PR, and I really hope that they don't try and water this down with sophisticated PR and spin.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll say to people this Sunday, 2 p.m, meeting here in the South Beach, just to show solidarity with those who have obviously already gotten some dreadful news, with those who don't know, this darkness that is kind of hanging over them until this is all in some way, shape or form, for want of a better term, cleared up, that there is a way of knowing exactly the extent of it. But it's a devastating time and a very worrying time, so
for every woman, I think. And I mean, it's the fact that we know that people are being charged for these retests, which they're not supposed to be, so we're asking for that, for the Minister to be making a lot of GPs are saying they've nothing in writing saying they'll be reimbursed, so you know, people should not be not able to afford these rechecks.
Absolutely.
And not, you know, if everyone is entitled to a free check. The problem now is I think a lot of them are going back to that same lab, so the doctors are urging, if you've had negatives, not to go back again, you know, until they've sorted that out. But you know, cost shouldn't be an issue, and the doctors should know that they're going to be reimbursed.
And that does seem to be a recurring thing about the health service here and in England, just that idea of privatisation, that there's becomes a commercial commodity, and therefore, you know, the numbers don't add up. They cut corners. They try to, you know,
it's for profit.
Right. So it becomes.
Rather than for
and I think you can be for profit when it comes to products and all that, not people.
Not
I think
for
it's
health. I don't think.
Cool. Okay.